All right, we got Jake Porter and Zach Luther back here with Mentor Meeting 5.3. So let's see. Here is 5.3. Very similar.
Okay.
I think it might be almost exactly the same. Um, so relationships, again, you guys, my girlfriend's been a big help. Um, Another part of this question was talking about what relationships that I've established and how I've done that. And I feel like I've definitely made some progress with a few of the kids. And the way I've done that is just through the approaching things with the right tone and the right empathy and understanding for their situations. Um, yeah, strategies again, differentiate instruction on a case-to-case basis. This one actually I think had more to the question, talking about managing cl classroom and delivering instruction. Uh,
Hmm.
for me, I've had a lot of success. Like when we towards the end of the year, when one of our teachers went on leave and we kind of changed the orientation of the classroom,
Yeah.
I would move kids around to kind of like preemptively avoid uh, behaviors, like just talking out or getting distracted. And I felt
Yeah.
like
Being
that
pro,
was
yeah,
success.
proactive.
Yeah. Um, I haven't got quite to the point where I'm, solo instruction yet, but what I've learned is that it's important to um, have structure, like a beginning, middle, and end, kind of a logical sequence of building on prior knowledge.
Yeah.
Um, Tools again, Ingenuity, iExcel, and you said lead worthy and
Capturing kids' hearts
Kids Hearts. Yeah,
and then we did like remember in the mornings it was like base education, base.
yeah, base was good. I did
Yeah.
like that. Even YouTube. When we get to the end of the year, um,
Mhm.
I really liked the National Geographic things we were doing, and I did How It's Made for the kids one day, and they were complaining, but by the halfway point, everyone was really invested. It was about baseball. So they
Mhm.
were studying how you make baseballs, how you make bats, how you make turf. And
Sweet.
it's really interesting, educational. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, accommodations again. Uh, I also, I did these pretty close to one another. So we talked about how accommodations and modifications are different.
Yep.
So, think of a question here for you. I had a question
Yes.
for your last meeting. In relation to SPED. Um, that's escaping me now. When you begin the process of how early on have you worked with SPED students? Do you usually get them around the middle to high school age, or have you worked with like early childhood?
I haven't really worked with like early elementary. I have not, which I do of people I know and people that are in that.
Hmm.
It's kind of like I like to look at it as two different realms,
Yeah,
right? Because that is so heavy and important on the intervention side when it comes to those early reading and math skills, right? Because like they're learning that specifically in class, but then they're getting pulled for extra work and like that data is so important. It is always important in the middle school and high school level,
yeah,
but that data actually goes back like without that data at the elementary level and that type of intervention early, you can start to see like the patterns of, well, this student had a good foundation early on in this intervention. Like this student who's unmotivated and missing these skills definitely got to special education a little later. right? They didn't
Yeah.
like identify and like, so uh there's also things like um let me give this example. Okay, we have a student obviously with autism that and like some of his coping skills, right, were developed and planned early on in his elementary levels, like when it comes to asking the questions always, and like taking these breaks and standing up, like so I give kudos to like the elementary level on developing these processes for these middle school and high school things, right? Where it's like it's hard for that autistic student that we have. It's like to develop a whole new plan, right? Like some of this stuff's kind of deep implemented into them,
Right.
And it's like elementary, you're creating those plans. High school, you're kind of maintaining or tweaking or advancing them. You're trying
Yeah.
to, but it's like kind of two different worlds when it comes to that, is what I've heard.
So
Uh,
how do you, if a kid slips through the cracks and you get them later on, in that developmental process, how do you kind of right the ship? Like, is there a
It's
way
yeah, it's
to,
not easy because some of those kids who were like in regular classes early on, and then they feel like they're getting pulled out, right? Some of them butt heads back. They don't like that, and then they shut down. So
yeah.
it's always important in those early processes of like they're in sped for the first time to like get to know them and what they're motivated about, which is what you do very well, right? It's finding that middle gap.
Mhm.
It's not just throwing them like, here's all this extra work that you have to do to learn this stuff because now you have to catch up. It's more like building that relationship to get them to do some of the things that you want them to do. And obviously, telling them like, this is helpful for them. This is in the long run, this is beneficial. This is why, to get them to understand why we're doing it as well. But to make it kind of enjoyable for them.
Mhm.
It's important too.
Well, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was two questions, so we should be good.
Was good?
Yeah.
All right, all right. But you nailed it on the head with the proactive stuff. I mean, that is probably you have to be a very good proactive and in the moment problem solver for MA.
Yeah.
You just can't, the job's not for you if you can't be quick on your feet.
Get ahead of the issue before it happens. Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot like, you've actually seen you've seen firsthand some TAs that like go right to our principal for things
Yeah.
without, and like students see right through that. They
Mhm.
can't make decisions and things for themselves, and then they on their phone and texting about it to the principal, and then the principal
Yeah.
makes a choice, and then the TA goes, "Well, principal said you have to do this," and then it's like, like they
Yeah.
kind of see right through that. Like you kind of gotta be the one in charge, and then you never really go to the principal, and he just trusts you,
Mhm.
right, on the choices you made, and then you let him know after the fact.
I like to be able to say, like we had some kids get caught cheating, right?
Right.
And I noticed it first, and I went to him and I said, "Hey, I'm telling you now, this is a warning. Stop
Right.
doing that.
Hmm.
Before Mr. Harris gets in here, before anybody else, I'm telling you right now, that's wrong. I'm giving you a chance to stop doing it." And
Right.
then they kept doing it, and then they got in trouble. It's like
Right.
kind of a sequential consequence.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't try to threaten them. I don't say use any threatening words, but I kind of give them a hint like, oh, I know they're watching today.
Yeah. Like, I
They're
know what
def
you're doing
they're
there.
on it. They're on it today. So then it's like their choice. They can't get mad at us if he
Right.
comes walking in. I was trying to help you.
Yeah. Take it from a personal thing to just a logical sequence of consequence. Like, hey, I told you the thing, I told you the expectation, and you made the choice to violate it.
Yeah. I
So
was on your side until you cuffed me.
yeah, you kept pushing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
All
All
right.
right. Sounds good.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Okay. Any others or that's it?
No, that's it. We got all three of them.
All right, dude. Well, hey, text me if anything else comes up. Any work you got going on, let me know. I'll be happy to help.
All right, will do.
All right, dude, see you, man.
See ya.